So great to see you guys. So I thought to kind of devote this chi talk today to the fact that it's very dark outside, and and how this connects to the philosophy of the Tao, and how this connects to the to healing energy, just this season, and the fact that we are experiencing more. The darkest time of the year, and how is that connect to kind of some interesting perspectives on healing energy, and how that connects to the Tao. So this is kind of like what I wanted to talk about today, and thank you for joining me, and wanted to inspire you. And this Chi Talk is going to be transcribed into the podcast that's called Awaken the Healer Within. The purpose of this Chi Talk is to just spread the word of health and healing, of preventative medicine, of Qigong, of medical Qigong, a modality that I was able through it to heal myself from a chronic health condition, and shifted my career from being an architect to do what I do today. So let's start with a little bit of a practice of meditation. And this is a noon time here, at least in the Pacific. So it's a time of the heart meridian, the heart energy. So let's tap on the heart. Let's put two fists together, taking a deep breath into this area that you're tapping on, just the sternum, right at the sternum, both fists. Inhale from the nose, exhale from the mouth. You can exhale with a sigh of HA, like a sigh of relief. This is really nice to do when the heart energy is active, and this is right now at noontime. So each meridian is active during a different time of the day in Chinese medicine. Yeah, let's do a few of those. Inhale, exhale, find relief with a sigh. Nice. So knocking on the heart, it's like knocking on the door of a neighbor. And when you knock on a certain part, when you go and ask a question, your neighbor, it depends who you ask, what neighbor it is, yeah? And here you knock on the heart, and this is the neighbor right here. So we're knocking, we're feeling the heart energy. And let's stretch one arm to the side. We'll do a little bit of a tapping, activation of the energy, and knock underneath the collarbone, back and forth from the center of the collar, from the center of the chest to the shoulders. Nice. Inhale and exhale fully. These are acupressure points to strengthen immunity and kind of rebalance the lungs, deepening the breath, strengthening the lungs. Make sure you exhale all the way. When I exhale is not compromised, we exhale all the way. We really heal, especially areas of sadness, of grief, of even depression. So when you exhale all the way, and depression is kind of the pathogen of fall and winter. Yeah, people fall into depression. Exhale all the way, 100% of the exhalation. So make sure that you inhale, exhale all the way, and then notice what happens to the inhalation when you do that. Let's change hands, let's change arms. Exhale all the way. So exhale all the way. It's a really nice way to kind of combat this type of energy, this depression or grief or sadness. When you inhale, feel how the inhalation is very invigorating, is very much, very powerful when you really exhale all the way. And
Can't hear.
I can hear Sharon. Ellie can't hear you.
He's muted.
Yes.
Okay, now.
Do we hear
now
it?
You're good. Yes.
Yes, we're
You were
back.
Do we
muted.
hear it now?
Yes.
Okay, so let's continue our...
So Ellie, you're frozen. I don't
Close
think
the eye and embrace your heart. Yeah, put your hands on the heart. Now, the heart is very, very important in especially in the winter. So when we are in the winter season, love, engaging with love is very important. So why engaging with love is very important in the winter? Because the winter is very cold. Yeah, we have the cold season, and the heart is the fire. So the heart is what keeps us warm internally. So the energy of the heart is fire, and that fire is we see in fire emotional fire and physical fire, and it's pretty much the same. So we have the physical fire of the heart and emotional. This is why in the holidays we like to see friends. We don't want to be lonely. We want to connect with loved ones, with family. So that's very important to actually kind of combat the colds, yeah, which is the kind of like the pathogen of the winter. So let's close the eyes and feel the heart. And just when you put your hands on the heart, just feel the joy in your heart, like your inner child. Yeah, the inner child. The inner child is, we say the inner child is kind of like the energy of our pure spirit before we took all these identities, who we are to our spouse or significant other, to our boss, or to whatever we took on, all the acquired chi we took from birth to now. We kind of look back and we call it the inner child because we look back into this place of innocence, of pure spirit, to feel our internal spirit, our truth, who we are, who are we, what is the light of our energy in the midst of so connect with your original spark, with your divine spark, which your spirit came from. Yeah, so you can remember that inner child, the heart, the joyful heart. Yeah, the joy is the pure energy of the heart behind all these layers. Yeah, so we can look at the heart like an onion with multiple layers. And when you come into your heart center in the beginning, you might feel different emotion. Could feel sadness, could feel stress, but the pure energy, if you want to penetrate to the core of the onion, it'll be joy. That initial spirit that your spirit came for, here to be, that light. Connect with that light. Nice. And think about who you love and all the people that love you, all the family or friends. In particular, somebody that really appreciate you. You play a very important role in their life. And feel the gratitude that we can give and receive love. And this is really what connects us to this spark, to that initial spark, to that yuan, the original spark. Give and receive love, and that's really the healing energy. So think about a person that you love, a person that loves you, somebody very special to you. And when we amplify that, we warm up. Yeah, the body physically warm up, our heart warms up. And this is really what's important in this season, in the winter. Nice. And let's open the hands to the side, palm facing the hand, your thighs, and open the eyes. Beautiful. Thank you for being here. Yes, beautiful. So really, that's why we in the holidays everybody comes together, and there's a lot of friends and family. We really want to heat up. We really want to connect to this fire, to the love, especially in cold days. Yeah, and one things that I really wanted to bring in today is the fact that the nights are really long, and there's more dark than days. And in the Tao, what we say is that in the most dark days, yeah, we say that the yin transform into yang, but in the most darkness, the very dark, this is where the light shine very brightly. So from the darkest time, this is where the light, and this is the holiday of light. When I was in architecture school, I remember we had a lecture from this anthropologist guy, and he came and he told us about the origin of Christmas and the origin of Hanukkah. And they both came from the same holiday. He said, in the holiday of light, it was a paganic holiday because people saw that the days are getting really dark. So they did a ceremony to bring in light, to call the gods to actually flip it and to bring back the light. And that's really the the origin of the holiday of light. It used to be called the holiday of light pre-religion. And now we have Christmas when we turn out the tree and celebrate the light. And also we have Hanukkah in Judaism, and probably more. There's probably more religion tradition that I'm not familiar with that this is do the same in the northern hemisphere, at least, where it's really obvious that the days become very dark. And in terms of healing energy, how this connects to healing energy, because the light is really the hope. The light is the faith. And we always, in Taoist tradition, we say always yin transform into yang, and yang transform into yin. And when yin is very extreme, it transform into yang. When yang is very extreme, so when in the middle of the night, when the night is very dark, this is where we can see the light. And so it's so true also for healing, for our path. If you remember, I remember my path. I was an architect. I suffered from digestive issues, from a chronic digestive issues, and whenever I remember, it was very dark time at that time for me. It was a lot of pain and a lot of not knowing what's going to happen. And your mind, when you're sick, when you're not feeling well, your mind is going to the extremes, and actually also continue that suffering, and amplify the suffering. It's kind of like a snowball. What I'm not going to ever heal. And it's like a snowball, and we all can relate to that. The mind start telling you, oh, maybe it's because I'm old. Maybe the mind start to explain why you're feeling that way, and you're giving answers to why the darkness is here. You kind of prolong it in a way. And this is the time when I saw the light, even though I didn't know this, but I was looking for different modalities to heal. And I stumbled upon Qigong and medical Qigong in particular, and I found healing in the teaching when I started to apply it into my own day-to-day experience. I start to, and eventually I shifted my career and become a Qigong teacher. Not that everybody needs to do that, but really the time of extreme darkness is, is this a time to see the light? Is it time for growth or for change? But it takes hope. I never lost the hope. I have to say. And I kept looking. I wasn't satisfied with being with my health condition, and I looked for the answer, and I went around the globe to look for the answer. I met with different healers, I was on a search. Yeah. I was on a search for my own healing, and I had a certainty. And that's kind of like really what I want to talk about today, about the the light in the midst of the dark. And in the Taoists we say that the biggest light is it's in the most darkest time. The most darkest time, one candle can shine so brightly. It's kind of like when you're in a dark room and you're stepping out, and there's a little bit of light and you see everything because your eyes adjusted to the dark so well that even the littlest light become a big light. And so this is the time, the winter time is a time for reflection, for meditation, for yin. And in the midst of yin, in the deepest time of internal quest, comes the answer. In the quietest time, when it's very quiet, when you are in dark, doesn't have to be bad or good necessarily. Yin can be just more present, close to your truth, being very quiet, doing Qigong, meditating a lot, taking this time of winter to self-reflect. And all the epiphanies usually come from this time of inquiry, of yin. So the yang, the light, when we light the candles in Hanukkah or Christmas tree, when we call in the light in the middle of the darkness, this is the time to this is really the time when the light is most seen, is in the dark. So it's a call for anybody out there that is dealing with any kind of difficulty, kind of like what the experience that I just talked about personally is to kind of take in this idea of hope. In Taoist tradition, we have this mantra. We say, and the mantra is based on certainty in the goodness of the universe, that everything will be good. Everything goes to a good place eventually. Yeah, if you look at your life and all the stresses and all the hardship and so much fear and so much, and here we're fine. We're okay. So, and the mantra is, I'm in Qi and Qi is with me, or I'm with the light and the light is with me. Always. So that's one aspect of healing energy, is the certainty in the light, certainty that you have the light. It's within you and it's always there for you, no matter what. Even and in the darkest time, the light, the potential for light is the highest. So we don't want to fall too much into self-pity. And what we want to do is to really embrace this idea of the natural flow of how things work. Yeah, it always works. The yang in the most extreme goes to yin, and the yin in the most extreme flips to yang. And the yang is the strongest. The birth of yang comes from the darkness of yin energy. And this is just how, and Taoist is a way that how ancient Chinese people is more like a science. They're looking at nature and trying to make sense of like what is the law of your universe, how things work in nature. And so the darkest time of the year is when we can connect within, we can find hope, we can find certainty. Hope, faith, and certainty is really a very strong aspect of healing energy in medical Qigong, but also in any other modality that I'm familiar with. The light is with me and I'm with the light always. Yeah, so that's that's kind of like what I'd like to invite anybody that is listening. And I just got an email a few days ago that there's actually a lot of people listening to this podcast around the world, and I'm really happy about it. So I even feel more motivated to continue these talks and to really inspire people uh, to to have faith and to have strength and to see the light, and to see the light. Sometimes when you have a lot of pain somewhere, what can you do to find where in the body there's no pain? How can we shift our attention to focus on the good, on the light, on what there is, that what is good in our life, and amplify that? And a lot of time healing comes from amplifying the good, rather than focusing on the negative and how bad it is. So where in the body it does feel good, and feel amplified through gratitude and through and really happiness, opening the heart, loving, and sometimes you say, how can I be happy? I feel so much pain here. Right? And this is the work. So how can we see the light? How can we shift our mind? How can we embrace whatever we feel without the label? So there's a lot of kind of different ideas here, but I want to open it to you, because we have four wisdom guys here that joined us: Dan, Edward, Sharon, and Alexa. Welcome. If you have any question or anything to add to it, if something came to mind, if you want to inspire or share from your experience, I'd love to hear. Who wants to talk? Sharon, yeah, go ahead.
Happy Hanukkah to you all. And I come across also myself so many people experiencing what is now COVID fatigue, lack of motivation, lack of depression, lack of love, and they feel so alienated and everything, but and depression very big, now during these times. And what's very comforting to me, and I want to acknowledge you for creating it, is your resilience course. And I do that also with Victoria. We do in the morning.
Oh, great.
Victoria, yes, 3 times a week, and it's incredibly helpful, uplifting. Want to acknowledge that, and just getting the word out about medical Qigong and its benefit is terrific. So thank you so much.
Oh, Sharon, thank you very much. Yes, and we can see definitely the times of the pandemic is a time of darkness, and as long as it kind of prolongs, and it's our job to to see the light, and not to be we're not wanting to get rid of the bad. We want to embrace it, want to go down, and from there to find the light. And thank you. Anyone else wants to? Yeah, Edward, go ahead.
Yeah, what Sharon just said is really the whole thing, and what you were saying. And, we have the God-given ability to choose. And you know me very well, Ellie. And I just choose to be happy all day long. And I'm so lucky. I've got my grandkids right across the street. My kids are right here from my house. And I have great friends. But I choose to keep busy. I walk 5 miles a day. I just got home for this today, because I choose to do it and to keep up and just stay in touch with everyone. And when we started out with the exercise and just going from the center into our nest or whatever, your mind goes away from, what Sharon was saying, depression or, feeling sad. It's just getting busy and doing her resilience. I did, that with you too, but doing it in the morning, your mind goes to a different space.
Right.
And it's just about, keeping busy. And it's your choice. I'm going to sulk, or I'm going to jump up and down and be happy. And, I always do, oh, Edward, you can change your energy just by pounding on your heels, you know, and it just change your energy. Choose to not go through what's happening out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a vaccine now, and it's going to be here. And whether we get it in 1, 2, 3, or 5 months, it's a possibility. Be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Thank
Be
you,
happy.
Edward. Yeah, that's very powerful. Very, very powerful, the choice. And really, just for anybody out there, we create calmness in our mind not by it's really the easiest way to go there is to tap into the body, is to feel the body, is to work with the breath, work with the body, do some movement when you're feeling the body. When you're in your body, present in your body, the mind calms down just automatically. That's the
Right.
easiest way. Instead of thinking, oh, let me not think about this, I'll think about. That's good, but when you work with your own body, that's the more immediate result you get. And we
Yeah.
know that through many ancient wisdom practices, not only qigong. So
Yeah. And Ellie, it's always in the sayings to me, and laughter is the best medicine. Well, I have a friend, and we talk, I don't know, 5, 6 times a day, and we
Yeah.
just choose to be silly.
Yeah.
And in that, it is so much fun.
yeah.
And but you're in a different world. You're in the world of light, because, and what's the best medicine? It's laughter, and the jokes. And, I'll speak to you. I'm too busy. I'll speak to you in 20 years. I have so many things going on today. Leave me alone. Why are you calling now? I'm busy. I can't even answer the phone. Why am I talking to you? But we just go through all this silliness, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Because you're out of the negative and you're into what you choose to create.
Mm-hmm.
So silly is good.
Mm-hmm. And maybe on that note, maybe a homework is for people to devote one conversation a day with a person where they don't complain, and they talk about something that inspired them, some inspiration piece, without complaining. And just once a day, one person a day you talk with, see it as homework for for a week, for 30 days. Talk about something that inspires you,
Mhm.
and throughout the conversation with that friend, do not complain, and just see how that feels. That's a good one, I think, right? I think we did it in one of our courses, right? Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming here and sharing. Yes, Sharon, go ahead.
On your Thursday Qigong movement class, will you be reflecting this time of the year from the dark to the light? Will these movements be reflected in what we're talking about today?
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, yes. So the Qigong movement for the winter are coming in the sequences, that the classes that are coming up are all about that. Actually, in Taoist tradition, we want to conserve energy, want to store. That's the time of storage of energy. So in general, you really don't want to go into a marathon or do a diet cleanse. This is not the time for it. The time for winter is the time for storing energy, and that really saves your how to store energy, how to save energy. This is really the qigong practice of the winter, and we're gonna kind of reflect that. We're gonna start to teach these sequences. There's more stillness. There's no more water-like movement, and of course the idea of the heart. We talk a lot about the light and things like that, and we have practices for it. So yeah, join us in qigong. The resilience course is online. You can buy it. If anybody wants a very powerful, thank you, and very powerful, the longevity breathing, we just put it online. It was a really powerful course, Wei Chi breathing. Please join. Yeah, Dan, did you raise your hand or?
I did.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did. I just think it's something, especially this time of year, and with so many traditions that, we're having just to kind of throw away, and, all of our holiday, traditions that we do. It's like, I think the best way for me to move out of, it's like to move out of that feeling of loss, of missing, acts of kindness. Just go out and just randomly, acts of kindness. If it's smiling at somebody, if it's stepping back in line at the grocery store, or the bank, and just like, no, it's just like being patient in and of itself is an act of kindness. But just random acts of kindness, I mean, that's going to shift.
Agree.
That's a big shifter.
That's a big shifter.
That's a big shifter. This is one of our Chi Talk was has to do with the title was happiness, health, and long life, and the secrets of happiness, long life is to actually give love. Is to actually give. If somebody wants to get in and cut you on the road, just slow down and let him. Kind of like what you be kind. So shift it to kindness. And actually it's called transformational energy. So we actually get the most health and happiness we get is by giving, by flipping our reactive state, by kind of catching it and actually doing the opposite. So if I wants to be the first in line, like what you just said, and that feels so good, right? It's really flipped the energy. So we're saying that you're getting the most amount of light by actually doing this. It's called we call it transformational energy, and we really flip it. And this is really resonate with the liver energy. So it's really good for liver chi, because liver is of generosity, gentleness, and kindness. Yeah, when it's balanced. And if the opposite would be anger and frustration. So trying to kind of yeah, go forward. So how do we find balance? And thank you, Dan. This is really powerful. And if we can practice it even once a day, like catch ourselves when we are doing something that we are, and then step back and give instead. That's so powerful.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you guys so much for your wisdom, and for everybody that watching. And I know a lot of people are listening to the podcast later. I'm so humble and thankful for everybody that also listen afterwards. So let's finish with the heart meditation. Let's put the hands on the heart, close our eyes, and take deep breath into the heart. And after we feel this gratitude, we can tonify, we can amplify it by inhale and exhale through the nose. Feel the kindness of your heart, feel the compassion, feel your desire for health, for healing, for long life, for happy life. And just think about the words that we kind of share together. The choice, you can choose. What do you choose to do now, right after this talk? What do you choose to do with all this kind of great ideas we shared together in this talk? How can we not keep it only to this talk, but do something with it right after into our day? So what action we choose to take from that place of gratitude, of love, of good chi. Feel your heart, smile to your heart. call your best friend and have a laugh with him. Thank you guys so much. Let's open our eyes. Bring the hands, the middle finger into the between the eyebrow. Yeah, this yin tao point. Very powerful point for calm. Yeah, and humbly look down and humble yourself to your inner master. Humble yourself to all the good we're receiving. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining me. See you
Love
next
you
time.
guys.
Happy holidays.
See you
Happy
soon.
holidays.
Bye.